Let's head to Dunedin now as the America's Cup did today. It was chilly there, but as was the case in Christchurch, Wellington and Auckland, what was lacking from the heat of the sun had plentiful compensation in terms of the crowds who braved the cold to express something very warm. Thousands of fans were there, a pretty striking message of support on such a cold day. And our Otago Southern reporter Lydia Anderson was among them for the final Welcome Home parade.
It wouldn't be a Dunedin parade without the City of Dunedin pipe band leading the way. Drummer Nigel Constable says spearheading a yachting parade makes a change from the usual rugby fare.
This is a bit different. It's something that doesn't come around all the time, so it's quite exciting really.
Spectators didn't mind the cold, although many waited until the last minute to emerge from warm offices and flood onto the streets of the CBD. Emma Smith from Cromwell says having the parade in Dunedin means a lot.
Oh, it's huge because it's always up north, and it's good to see them come down south for once. So it's pretty good. I'm stoked for that.
One sailor called Inky reckons bringing the parade south raises the profile of local yacht clubs.
Especially for Dunedin, there are some very active yacht clubs here, but no one really thinks of Dunedin for sailing. They'll think Auckland, they'll think Wellington, but even Christchurch and Littleton, no one really thinks there's actually sailors there on the water.
The team were given a rousing welcome as they stepped onto a stage in the octagon, holding the old mug high.
Let's hear it for them! Yeah! Yo, Jody, bring me that.
Team Chief Executive Grant Dalton expressing his gratitude.
Thank you. You are amazing.
He says the cold weather hasn't dampened the team's spirits in the slightest.
If it's cold and almost if it's bleak, it means the people that are there for the right, they're there because they really want to be there, and so we get that and it means a huge amount to us.
Dalton says the team are still running on adrenaline.
I mean, we're still on a high from winning the Cup. I mean, really the big planning for us next is the full regional tour, which will take weeks. So we're just looking forward to Dunedin today, and well, I don't know, we're going to come down with a thud eventually, but it hasn't happened yet.
And while they might be forgiven for wanting some time off, Grant Dalton says the work won't stop once they get back to Auckland.
Well, some of the guys will get a rest, but, for me and others, we've really got to crack on pretty much and trying to work our way through this. And we've already had initial talks with government and with Auckland Council in this case. In the end, we've got to put on a world-class event, and we have to also defend the Cup as well. I mean, and they're quite separate in some ways, so it's a lot to organise.
Grant Dalton says the full regional tour of yacht clubs will take place later this year, perhaps when the weather is a little warmer. In Dunedin for Checkpoint, Lydia Anderson.